you. Senator Daines.
Governor Carey, welcome.
Yes, sir.
I have a great view here. I get to see your beautiful family behind you.
Thank you.
And I will
It's my best day's work, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And I will say, if I was in your chair, I would make sure I had Marcus Luttrell guarding my six as well. So it's great to have an American hero here.
And his twin brother, Morgan,
We were
over
wondering
here on
about
the
that.
other
I'll tell you
side.
what, you can tell there's a lot of similarities.
Just in case.
Anyway, well, I have complete confidence, truly, and you're going to work to restore this balance that I think the American people seek between fossil fuel and renewable energy investments and regulation. As they probably would say in Texas, as we'd say in Montana, it's a blend of George Strait and John Denver. That is a melody that we need right now in this nation, and I think that has been lacking, frankly, in President Obama's Energy Department, and you'll, I think, restore that balance. So thank you for considering this nomination. Governor Perry, in our meeting, we discussed what's going on in a small town in Montana called Colstrip. This plant is the lifeblood of this little town, 2,000 people. 767 of those folks directly are employed by that operation. Colstrip generates enough electricity to power 1.5 million American homes. And as you know, Units 1 and 2 in Colstrip are scheduled to close due to environmental litigation, and they're under these job-killing, this EPA power plan. The other 2 units are also at risk. In fact, there was a study done at the University of Montana. They said that the EPA's power plan would kill 7,000 jobs in our state, $500 million in lost revenues, $140 million in lost tax revenues. And we have a legislature right now that's meeting in Montana that once had a $300 million surplus, and now the governor and legislature are trying to sort out how do you make ends meet because the surplus is gone. And Montana, with the closure of these plants, will go from being a net energy exporter to now having to become an energy importer. I think that is a tragedy. And these are regulations coming out of the EPA, but I do believe the Department of Energy under your leadership could do big things to protect its future. As we discussed the Crow tribe in Montana, Governor, they have a 35% unemployment rate right now. We lose those coal jobs in that reservation, that unemployment rate goes north of 80%. And this is poverty in rural America. In fact, we had an energy conference here about a year ago, and we had some protesters that came, and they had big signs that said, "Keep it in the ground," referencing coal. And a little 12-year-old Evelyn Oldcoyote, the daughter of the chairman of the tribe, quietly walked up to those protesters and said, "You know, if you keep it in the ground, my people are going to starve." That's what's at stake right now. I'm concerned that if this administration doesn't do anything to protect our existing coal fleet, like Colstrip, many Montanans are going to lose their jobs, our state will lose its tax revenues, and our grid will become less secure and less reliable. I said in our meeting that I would like your personal attention to this issue, and I do appreciate your commitment. I know you're going to be traveling a lot when you are the new Secretary of Energy, but I appreciate your commitment to come visit these communities and see it firsthand. Some of the ways to protect our existing fleet and our base load of energy are to facilitate research that can improve efficiencies at our coal plants and investment in carbon capture utilization and storage technology. I'm concerned that we have a real choice. We can either lead in America with this technology, or we will cede this to the Chinese. So my question is, will the DOE support investments in carbon capture to use storage as well as other policies that will keep America's coal fleet running, including Colstrip, so we can continue to use this most valuable resource?
Senator, I look forward to coming back to Montana and spending some quality time with the men and women who are being affected by the decisions that we collectively have made in this city that affect their lives. And you have very eloquently and passionately shared with this committee and with the world the challenges that we have. I remember well a decade and a half ago when there was an individual who traveled the country and I think made a pretty good living giving a speech about peak oil, that we're done. He didn't know what the answer was for the alternative, but he basically said, we're done. But because of technology that came out of the DOE, hydraulic fracturing, the world's been changed. And the world's been given a resource that we've been able to use to help lower the carbon emissions. I'm talking about natural gas. I mean, I will suggest that sometimes we get siloed in our thinking and we go, it's either or. And so, you know, coal's bad, leave it in the ground. When the fact is, I'm certain, I feel positive that some scientist, some incredibly capable man or woman, either at the DOE or in one of our universities' laboratories, has technology to be able to use coal in a way that is friendly, that is appropriate, and that can keep that little girl's family fed and warm and with a hope for the future. I mean, to me, that's what we're all about. I mean, we signed up for this to make a difference in people's lives. And you have passionately talked about that today. That is my commitment, not just to you, but everyone in this room and on this committee, that I'm going to do everything I can to push the envelope, to think outside of the box, to come up with for the answers to the challenges that we face as a country. That's obviously one of them, and that's a big one. Making sure that the people out at Hanford know that that's being managed, and they're starting to see some things really happen out there, and giving them hope that it's not just going to be another 30 years of the federal government kicking the can down the road. That's what I'm committed to, Senator.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Governor.